Hello, everyone. Glenda Mollet here, and welcome to my craft room on this Labor Day Monday evening, wherever you are. All right, let's just get this shared to my VIP group so that everybody can join it. Come on, go. So I hope you have had a wonderful, sorry, I was just reading, a wonderful weekend. It's been not bad weather here. It's a bit cold. It's fall. Today is fall. It's cold in the morning. Hi, Holly. Hi, Connie. Yeah, we get up and it's like, oh, and then I spend all day in my sweater and my long pants and my socks. It started already. Hi, Sharon. But tonight we had a lovely dinner outside with some family. There may have been salmon involved. I didn't eat it. I took a hamburger patty because you know me and fish. We don't get along well together. But everybody enjoyed it. The food was good. The company was good. And it was so nice. We've been isolated for so long. This is the first time that we've had a chance to be healthy enough to go and visit people. We stayed outside. I wore my mask in and out of their house every time I went in to get food or to wander from the inside to the outside. Yeah, it was good. So did you guys have a good weekend too? I'm going to click that, turn that off. And we got some card making happening tonight. And see, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 4 more days, and we're going camping again for the weekend. Yay! Ear's still plugged. Right now, it's really weird because this is the ear that's been plugged for 2 weeks. Now this one's not plugged and this one is. So maybe that's a good sign that things are unplugging. I keep like lying on the opposite side when I'm sleeping and nothing's happening. Anyways, let's get on with the program. So just to bring you up to date on what's happening, this is how close I am to getting the trip to Norway, the Norwegian fjord cruise. I'm getting there. And excuse me, everybody that places an order each week until I hit that 40,000 points is going to get a kit to make the card from the Monday night. Now, I must make a little caveat. If you don't live in Canada, I can't send you the kit. I might have time to put it together and send you a completed card. But you can't place an order with me anyway, so it doesn't really matter. So anybody places an order during the week, doesn't matter what the order is, we'll get a kit to make the card for Monday. So last week I hadn't announced it, but I'm still going to give the people that placed orders with me last week are still going to get this week's kit. So you have until Sunday to place an order and get the kit for tonight's card. And then next week you'll get the kit for the other card. Now, if your order is $70 or more, I'm going to include a brand new package of embellishments, current embellishments. And if your order is over $100, I'm going to send you something extra special as well as the embellishments. And at the end, everybody who placed an order with me, I'm going to do a draw. And each week I'm going to add something new. So this week I'm adding the perfect pomegranate stamp set. So somebody can win 1, 3, or maybe 4 prizes by the time I hit the number of points to go to Norway. Okay, the advert is over. I'm going to show you how to create this card. Now, I got this card from Cindy Piggott, who is one of my Silver Sisters in a recent swap that we did. And it's really different. I have not seen one like this before. So it looks kind of, oh yeah, that's just a card with some lovely designer paper detail on it, but it's a pocket card. Hi, Karen. It's a pocket card. Look, this pops out and then this opens up. And there's where you put all your words. Is that not the coolest thing ever? Now this, she did not make it a full-size card. This is just a panel card. I'm going to make mine a full-size card, and then I'm going to do this part. And I just had a wonderful idea before I started that this would fit a gift card as well. So you could put a gift card in there and hide it down in there. And then I'm going to make it a card so that it's got a regularly opening card. Hi, Yvonne. Thanks. I think it's really cute. And it just happens to be using the bundle that was my Stamp-A-Stack this month, the Hello Harvest bundle. So I'm going to use the Hello Harvest stamp set and the rustic pumpkin dies. Hi, Janet. Yeah. And I've got a draw for the 27th Share It Saturday to do, so don't let me forget to do the draw. The Wheel of Names is already done, and I have my reminder list right there, so maybe I won't forget it this time. Okay, there's the card. So what you need to make this card is, I'm making it a full card. So I'm using 8.5 by 5.5 basic black, scored at 4 1/4 and folded in half. Then there's going to be a layer of Mossy Meadow that's 5 3/8 by 4 1/8. A layer of Merry Merlot, 5 1/4 by 4. The Mossy Meadow, 3 3/4 by 2.5, is to do the swirly thing on the pumpkin. Oh. I didn't get out my blends. I didn't write them down. Then 5 1/4 by 4 for the inside, 2 1/4 by 4 scored at 3 1/2. Okay, that's not right. That's not right. 2 1/4 by 7. Ugh. 2 1/4 by 7 scored at 3 1/2. Fix that real fast. And that's the pocket thing. The Mossy Meadow in behind is 3 3/4 by 2.5. Then I have 3 1/4 by 5 to do the pumpkin and the sentiment. And that's basic white. I'm using Evening Evergreen Glimmer paper. I don't remember what that's for, but we'll find out. Oh, that's probably instead of that. There we go. And some Rustic Harvest designer paper that is 3 3/4 by 3 3/4. And then I cut it diagonally in half. Okay, let me get organized here. So you cut a piece of designer paper of your choice, 3 3/4 by 3 3/4. Then you cut it diagonally, corner to corner, and that's what's going to go on the front of the card, like that. So that's what this is here. And you just glue down the edges, and then right here, underneath there, so that you get the pocket on the front of the card. Okay, I haven't made this card, so I have no idea whether it's going to turn out or not. We'll soon find out. That's the inside piece, because I'm making it a full card. That's the piece to do all the stamping and stuff. So, oh, and it's embossed, and I didn't get embossed. I want to use the leaf fall embossing folder. There it is. That's what we're going to do. As soon as I get my I hate it when my two magnetic plates decide they're best friends and glue themselves together. Okay, so we're going to emboss the Merry Merlot piece with the leaf fall embossing folder. So let's just see which way we want it. I think this way, because this is all going to be covered up anyways. There, so I'm going to set my machine up and we'll run that through. This is one of my new favorite embossing folders. Just wait till you see what it does to this. I had an idea the other day that I want to emboss a piece of copper with that and see what it looks like, but I haven't got around to it yet. So I've been busy doing my October class. So there it is. Look at that. Look at the detail on that embossing folder. Isn't that gorgeous? So that's going to layer on there like that. And then this is going to layer onto the black like that. And then these line up with the Mary Merlot piece. Oops. These line up with the Mary Merlot piece like this. Of course, that pumpkin has to be upside down. So let's just put it this way. There. So that's what that's going to be. And then this is the little pocket thing. And I'll get a piece of white and we'll see if we can turn that into a, see, is it going to be wide enough or do we have to retrofit this? Yeah, that's not going to be wide enough. So we can make this bigger. I'm going to get the Mossy Meadow and the white. Mossy Meadow and Whisper White or Basic White. And we'll make this. Make the white. Let's see here. I need something that's wide enough. So if I make this 2 3/4, so if I make that 2 3/4 by 7 1/2. Okay. 2 3/4 by 7 1/2. Like that. And we'll fold this in half like that. Instead of that piece, we're going to use this piece. And then the inch that I cut off of the bottom, because this was 8 1/2. If I can get it out of my paper trimmer here. Come on. Then the inch that I cut off of the bottom will attach here and then glue it on. And then this will just slide in there like that. And then we've made a gift card holder. But it's a surprise gift card holder because unless you tell the person that it's there, will they know? And you'll be able to say, hey, did you get the gift card I sent? And they say, no, I didn't. We got your lovely card, but there was no gift card. And you'll be able to say, oh, yes, there was. Okay, so I just cut the tear and tape down so it's not quite as wide because I want it. I want the card to be able to slide in there easily. We'll just do the same on the bottom. You never know what I'm going to come up with, right? So did anybody do anything exciting for the weekend? Hello, Yvonne. Did I say hello? I can't remember. Did anybody do anything exciting on the weekend? I spent the whole weekend in my craft room. It was lovely. I was playing with, I first got the November class, the Splendid Thoughts class. The cards are done. And then I had to get the October club cards done. There. That's going to slide in there like that. Oh, that's so cool. I think we'll do some stamping on that. Now, the piece of family wedding. Oh, that's cool. Oodles of cheeky gnomes. Hi, Norma. Okay, 3. Want this to be 3 by 4. So I need a piece of Mossy Meadow. That was 3 by 4. Piece. Cut that down to the right size. Walked around Harbor Key and watched all the fishermen and the boats in the harbor. Oh, that is so cool that a 14-year-old won for today and won for the Derby. He took home 15,000, I think, right? And then Rotary also drew for their 50-50, and the winner got $12,500. So there was lots of money was shared in Port Alberni this weekend. We didn't go to any of the stuff because I didn't want to be out in the public with what I've got maybe going on here. Okay, so let's put a leaf. Put this up here. Get out my Mossy Meadow. Yeah, 10,000 he won for the whole Derby, but he also won today's. He was the biggest for the day today, so he won today's as well, which was really fun. I was excited for him. And hello, Carla. Okay, there's that. And crushed curry. The flour. Oops, let's put it the right way up, though. There we are. Now, get some stamping paper because I'm going to put a few. So she's decorated her front of this. So let's do that. And you know the funniest thing about this this young man that won? All these people were out fishing everywhere all weekend. Like hundreds of dollars were spent on fuel this weekend. And oops, I didn't ink that properly. And he won with a fish he caught off the dock. Right off the dock. It was so funny. I think it's funny, but then I wasn't out there fishing. Okay. We'll just stick a few flowers on here. Make it look pretty. There we go. And I think another partial one right there. That's it. Okay, that part's done. Put that off to the side. Now, let's get this piece and memento and the pumpkin. And we'll stamp the pumpkin. This is the right piece, right? This weight. Yes. Okay, stamp that in memento. And then we're going to stamp the sentiment. The sentiment in Mary Merlot. Now, this is a color I don't use a lot. So I was really glad when it was in this designer paper because it meant I was going to give it some love. I heard there was lots of food happening down at the Harbor Key too. The salmon dinners were back and all the restaurants were opening and having fun. Okay, I didn't bring my mat thing over here, so we'll have to pretend or fake it or use some Post-it tape. I got some right here. Just attach that right there. And the other one. Ah, no. It's smudged. What is going on with this white cardstock lately? Tell you, the colors are just, they're not drying. I don't know whether I'm going to have to get a hold of Stampin' Up tomorrow and find out what the heck is going on. Because that is smudged, and I don't want to use smudge. So I'm going to run this through, and then I'm going to stamp another one. Run the pumpkin through. There we are. Put that back. Now we'll stamp another one of these on another piece of white. And then I'm going to let it sit and dry while I color that pumpkin. Okay. Mary Merlot. Stamp. There we are. Now don't touch it. Let's see. Oh, see, now that dried right away. I'm still going to let it sit off to the side while I color this. Lost the die. Okay, now the pumpkin. The pumpkin. Where is that card that I did? There. Okay, so I had my Hello Harvest class last Wednesday, and I colored this pumpkin. So can you see the pumpkin that I colored? There's a lot of colors on that. This one just uses the pumpkin pie. So I'll do that, and then we'll see if we want to add more colors to it. So when you're doing this, when you color you're going to blend, you want to get a good amount of ink down, and I'm avoiding the center because that's where my highlight's going to be. And by going around in circles like this, you get enough ink on your card that it's going to allow you to do some blending. You kind of don't want I went down too low. Should have had that up higher. You kind of want them to be the same. I'll just have to fill this in a bit. Yeah, that's better. And then we'll do the same here. And go down, avoiding that center again. I'm trying to remember what colors I used on that because, of course, my recipe I've put away. I can't remember all of the colors that I used. Okay, so there's the light pumpkin pie. Now I save this because I go over the whole thing right at the very end again. And then this is the dark pumpkin pie. So you go down and go almost right up to where you have the holes there. Like this. And I think I'll just, instead of doing that, because there was 2, 4, I think there was 7 colors in that pumpkin that I showed you. So that's a lot of coloring. And it's not like you're going to want me to take an hour to color a pumpkin. And I'm not worried about the coloring lines because when I go back over with that light pumpkin pie again, that's going to blend all those coloring lines together. So has anybody watched McLeod's Daughters? It's a story about a family of girls that inherit a cattle ranch from their dad. And they run it. Calypso coral. Calypso coral. No, Cajun craze. I'm just going to add a bit of Cajun craze just to darken right up at the top. And then down and at the bottom again. Oh, I was crying today, Yvonne. I don't want to give the plot away to those that haven't watched it. But I think I'm in season 3, and you'll know what I'm talking about, the incident with the truck. And what happened, and yeah. I was in tears today watching it. I actually started watching that episode last night and I couldn't watch it all. It was so sad. If you have the chance to watch McLeod's Daughters, I highly recommend it. Now, this is number 400 in the neutrals. And I'm just adding right at the very top and at the very bottom and down the lines a bit. Now, you're probably thinking, oh my God, that ugly thing that is. But just wait, because the magic happens when you add your last coating of the light. I've gone outside the lines a little bit, but that's okay. Okay, so I've got all my colors on, except I didn't do the stem, but that's okay. And now I'm going to go back over top of it with pumpkin pie, light pumpkin pie, and blend all of those colors together. Now I'm still going to avoid that center. I want them all to blend in together. See how it's starting to blend in? Just by going over top of them like that. And then I just go very lightly. Now I'm not putting any weight on this at all, doing the center, because I want it to be really light. And if there's some white spaces, that's just fine. I don't mind that at all, because that'll just help with the whole lighting area where the highlights are. There we go. Now you take the color lifter, and I'm thinking that I don't want those to be quite so big. So this is the dark pumpkin pie. I'm just going to add a little bit more and make these areas a little bit smaller because they turned out just a little bit too big. And this one's too square. See how you can play with it after you're done if you don't like it? Okay, we'll just blend that in. Now I'll go over them again. Now they're still lighter. And then you take the color lifter and you just do a couple of, don't go over it more than once. Then you just let it sit there and do its work. Do you see what's happening? Just see how it's lighting up those highlighted areas, because it pushes the ink through. Now, if you turn, when you do your coloring with your Stampin' Blends, if you turn it over and it looks like that, you've done a good job. Okay, so let's just take, I think I need a brown. I need a darker brown. Maybe bronze. She's done hers in green, but I want to do mine brown. Oh, that's good. This is the original brown, the bronze. And I'll go over there with the 400 and put a little bit of color in there. You guys are being awful quiet out there tonight. You all napping or something? There we are. There's our pumpkin. So there's no right way and there's no wrong way to do this. This is straight pumpkin pie and she's blended it and it looks beautiful. This one, I took a little bit more time and a lot more color. Okay, now that sentiment, wherever it is, I lost the sentiment. There it is. This should be ready to die cut now. Yep. And just put that on there. And run that through. I'm hired. Well, I've been coloring with alcohol markers for almost as long as I've been stamping. When my friend Candy, apparently it was still wet on my cutting plate too. Shoot. When my friend Candy lived here, she is an amazing colorer. Aw. Okay, I'll have to fix that afterwards. Look what happened. It was still wet on that plate, my cutting plate. Clean that off right now. She taught me how to color with alcohol markers. Thanks, Yvonne. Okay, where are we now? Inside piece. Let's do kind of what we did on the front. We'll do some leaves, if I can find the inks, that is. I love coloring. I find it very relaxing. Not necessarily when I'm live. Because I tend to go too fast when I'm stamping live, and sometimes it doesn't work. And then we'll do the envelope. Oh, this afternoon when we were heading out for dinner, we have a neighbor that plays the bagpipes, and he was out there when we left, and he was playing the bagpipes. It was so amazing. I love the bagpipes. I used to be in a pipe band when I was in high school. And we went down to the Highland Games in Anaheim, which was the first time I went to Disneyland. There we are. And anyways, we were heading out and he was out there playing the bagpipes, and it was absolutely amazing. I didn't want to leave. I wanted to stay there. Okay. Where's my card base? I lost my card base. Really? How can I lose my card base? Well, there it is. Okay, let's put this little baby together. Mary Merlot. On to Mossy Meadow. Like this. If I remember, I'll show you a sneak peek of the Merriest Moments class that's coming in October. Because not only did I get the the cards done, but I did one to do a live demo on too, so I'll show you that one. Okay, so there's that. Now we're going to put the designer paper on. Find my mat here, because I want to get the adhesive right into the corners, because that way the corners sit down properly. And if I do it on here, then I can keep going until I get right off the edge. And some down there. Now, that shouldn't have been there. So this is going to have to be the top piece. I got carried away. I completely forgot what I was supposed to be doing. Because one of them is going to stick to the other one at the bottom. But they have to be loose to let that make the pocket in the front end. So this is the loose one. Let's line that up with Mary Merlot and just pop that on there. Oops, down a little bit. Come on. It's there now. Okay, let's see if I did this, if I really messed this up. Nope, I didn't. Okay. So I've got adhesive here and on those two sides, and I'm going to line that up with the bottom and up there. Now, if I did this right, this should pop in here. Yay, it works. Okay, so now you put that in there like that, and that tells you where this is going. I was just checking to see if she put those on dimensionals, and she did. So let's get some dimensionals on here. Now, you have to be careful because it's going to sit like this. So you can't put the dimensionals where that is going to be on top of the designer paper, because you won't be able to get it there. All right, one in the middle. Put that on. Oh, I can't put this on here. I shouldn't have taken the thing off because I got to fix it. Now, just going to check. Yep, and it's straight. Yep. Now, do you think I'm going to be able to? I don't like that blank there. I want to add another leaf on there. So I'm going to get the leaf out again. Just fill that in. That's better. And then there was a little bit of a blank underneath too. So I'm just going to another flower in there. There we are. Sure, fix it afterwards. That's fine. Okay, so now we'll pop that in there. Like that. And the pumpkin's going to go on here. That's also on dimensionals. Now, yeah, just checking to make sure that where I could put the dimensionals so that I didn't glue that thing in there. Okay, and we'll just put that right there in the center. And get the inside piece. Put this inside, and then I have to cut the little curly thing out of the glimmer paper. to put on top. There. Oh. Thanks, Karen. Yeah. Don't forget the Mossy Meadow. Okay. Apparently, the brain's not functioning here. I was wondering why I had a leftover piece of Mossy Meadow. Okay, let's line it up on the top because that's where the important part is. The bottom's not going to show. There. It does look better with it. Looks finished. Didn't look finished. There was something wrong. There. There's the front except for the bling. Now the bling. The bling. Let's cut two of them because I got the thing and we might want to use both of them. I'm going to run those through the machine. And there's adhesive on the back of this. Because let me tell you, the first time I used these curly things, I didn't put adhesive sheet on it. Yeah, it wasn't a good idea. I think I ended up recutting them because they're so small that it's hard to get glue on there. Okay, put those away. Pop this out. Put that there. Now, you can move this if it doesn't look any good, but I'm thinking two of them might look really cool. That one, and then one on the other side. Oh, have to do it this way because otherwise I'm going to have to get my embossing buddy out. Put that one there, and put this one here. There. What do you think? Yes? No? It needs bling. It needs to be bling. What kind of bling shall we use? What kind of bling? I know, in color opal rounds. So that it matches the glimmer paper. One there, and one up there, and one down here. Right there. There we go. Needs bling in the center of the curlicues? Oh, well, there's an interesting idea. Right here? I don't know. Like that? Gets lost there. Maybe it's not big enough. We need a bigger one. Nah, I don't like it. I don't like it. It looks funny. It looks funny. What else could we put there? What are the sequins? Maybe a sequin. That's better. That's better. One of the sequins. Oh, did I show you guys these? The sequins and gems? See, we've got, did I write on here what color? I don't know what color. There's it looks like fresh freesia and, what's that? Hang on. soft, succulent, and then there's some gemmy things. I used these on one of the cards that I created for one of my classes. Okay, got the bling, got the envelope. There we go. Now, let me show you the card. I haven't scheduled a live for this yet, but it's coming. Merriest moments. Look at this. You know how the merriest moment, I'm trying to get it so you can see all the embossing. The merriest moments has that hybrid embossing folder. So this month, I'm offering this bundle at bundle price. So right now, it's not bundled in the catalog. So when you buy the embossing folder and the dies and the stamp set, you're paying each one separately, but I'm offering them at a 10% discount, just like they were bundled last year. But I wanted to show you that the embossing folder, you can fit, if I got time, yeah, I do. Okay. So you can fit this die on the side that says Stampin' Up. This fits in here. And you move it around till it fits down in that channel that they've created for it. And then you put your cardstock in there and you run this through and it cuts it all out. Let me see if I can find one. I don't think I have one. No, I just did. Wait, I had one that didn't work. No. So this is the embossing. So if you put that in there and put this in here, I'm gonna cut this out again. Maybe. I have, yeah, it's this one didn't work, but I'll be able to show you. So you put that through together. Have to rejig my machine here. Because you put it through like a thick embossing folder. And when you run it through, oops, it die cuts and embosses at the same time. So it cuts all this out. And you end up with that. So that's one way. But I didn't know until I saw it on somebody's blog that if you take this, the same side, there's that other one. See, I had two that screwed up. I don't know whether this will work. Anyways, the same side, you can take this die. Now, this is the die that you cut, and it gives you an extra piece in the center to stamp on. So if you put this in here like this and put it down in the channel, let's pretend this is a whole piece of cardstock. You'll get the idea. And run it through with that part in it. Then it cuts the center out. So see, it cuts out the center part, and then you're left with the hole with all the embossing around it, which is what this card is. And I didn't know that until I watched a video yesterday about it. Who knew? And this is included in the dies as well. So there's so many ways to use these dies. So that's what I did. I cut out the hole, then I popped this all up. That is recessed, and it looks like a picture frame card. And then I did something funky inside. So that'll be on a live at some point. I haven't scheduled it yet. But that's the whole theme of the October class and Stamp-A-Stack. So I want to show you a sneak peek of another one, because this one is gorgeous, but I don't want to show you the whole thing because, I don't want to give too much away. Look. Ooh, isn't that stunning? Well, it would be if you could see the whole thing, but I'm not showing it to you because I'm mean that way. Okay, I'm going to do the draw. Can you use both dies? Yes, you can use both dies at the same time. Uh-huh, you can. I tried that too. Which is what? No, I can't find it. I did try that. And you can run them both through at the same time. Okay. So don't forget, that's one of my September specials. 10% off that. If you want to see it, it's on page 26, I do believe. Nope. Okay. I thought I had it. Merriest moment 23. I was closed. So there it is. There's merriest moments. Now, stamp set is 30 and the embossing folder and dies is 54. You can't buy the dies and the embossing folder separate. They come as a package. So that's $84 for those two. And I'm giving you $75.60. So that's the 10% off price. And that will get you a free package of embellishments, because remember, this is going on until I hit 400,000. So if your order's over 70, you'll get a free new package of new embellishments and a card kit for whatever the Monday card was that I made the week that you put your order in. So now that that's all confusing, let me see if I can get this out of my stand without shutting my video down. Okay, so here we are. Share It Saturday on the 27th. Let's get rid of the title. And I'll shuffle the names. And I'll shuffle them again. And the winner of the August the 27th Share It Saturday is Connie. Yay, Connie. Thank you for your beautiful cards. Connie, I do appreciate them. I love seeing all of the cards that you guys share with me. There's a whole whack have gone up this week since Saturday, and I haven't even had time to go in and look at them and comment, but I will do that. Yes, congratulations, Connie. Connie makes amazing cards, and she's so kind to share them with us. All right, does anybody have any questions for me? Don't forget the specials and the draws. This week, I've added the Purely Pomegranate stamp set to this one. Each week, I'm going to add something else till I hit, oh, you can't see it because I took that down. So there you go. Don't forget the draws. The Perfect Pomegranate stamp set will also, I'll put everybody's name in that places an order between last week when I announced it and when I hit the 400,000 or the 40,000 points. And then somebody's going to win this. If you already have this, then we'll discuss, or you can share it with somebody else. All right. Well, if nobody has any questions, that's it for tonight. Thanks so much for joining me. I'm going to be live on Thursday before we go camping on Thursday. What am I doing Thursday? Oh, I got a beautiful card for you using the aspen tree dies and some designer paper. And I even made custom envelope for it. Does this give you an idea of what the card might look like? I'm a little sneaky. The inside is different. It's not your typical inside. So thanks, everybody, and have a wonderful few days. I'll see you Thursday night at 8 o'clock Pacific time. Good night, Yvonne. Oh, Valerie, catch the replay. You'll love the card. Good night, everybody.